Hello guys, my name is Chris Abella. I'm the manager here at Mad Cards Hobby Shop, and today I'll be displaying my favorite deck, which is my hero deck. So let's get on with the deck profile. Alright guys, so for the main deck monsters, it is 21 main deck monsters. One of the most important cards would be 3 Vision Hero Ferris. This is something pretty much standard. Every hero deck will probably play 3. It is the only extender out of the hand, and pretty much the best extender, like the best starter that you want to see in your opening hand, because it gets you to the best card in the deck. You play the 1 increase with the package. A lot of people play 2. I think it is neither correct or wrong to play 1 or 2. It's just up to preference. Some people say it's a little risky to play 1. I'd rather have a more consistent deck, since the deck already kind of has a few technically bricks in it. So I only play the 1, and that card gets you to the best card, which is 3 copies of Vision Hero Vion. He is probably the best monster in the deck. Him by himself starts like a whole combo, gets you to polymerization, which is like what this deck lives by. You need poly to be able to do all your plays, so he is mandatory at 3 in my eyes. And then to also help with consistency, we play 2 Elemental Hero Stratos. Used to play 3 back then, but him by himself doesn't really do much unless you have another hero in hand to search the Ferris or to do extra plays with. I think Vion's a little bit better than him. That's why I play 2 Stratos and 3 Vion. Then standard also be 2 Shadow Mist, searching mass change. Hero Lives is at 3 now, so you always want to have this card either available to search or to get you the mass change. Very important. And then the 1-ofs for the E-Heroes is 1 Liquid Soldier and 1 Honest Neos. Honest Neos, kind of iffy. Sometimes I take it in and out of the deck, but you know, with Flunder and stuff like that, you kind of want to have like a way to beat over the barrier statue and, you know, any problematic monsters like that. He catches a lot of people off by surprise, and obviously Liquid Soldier, you know, you need him. Draw power lets you filter through. There's a lot of times where you just use him to fuse the first turn, and then next turn you have follow-up to be able to draw 2 again, so he's really important. And also, if you don't need the draw effect, him being able to bring back Shadow Mist, Vion, Stratos, it just gives you infinite plays, infinite resources. Then for the D heroes, standard 2 Mali, 1 Denier. Denier is probably one of the best cards in the whole deck because he lets you extend and do extra plays. He's like the best way to play around Nibiru. If you get Nib, you always save his effect to be able to play around that, and you know, being able to resolve a malicious 3 times is obviously great. And then the last 2, which are kind of situational, but I feel like they're good in the main deck just in case you win the die roll. They're kind of win cons. Obviously Plasma is a skill drain effect, and then for those that don't know what Dark Angel does, Dark Angel gets pretty much with her own effect is discarded from the hand to be summoned into your opponent's side of the field, and then if while it's on their field, none of their spell cards will resolve with effect, so it's essentially an Imperial Order for them. Against decks like Despia, you know, that don't play any sort of link monsters, this card alone on their field is pretty much game, as long as you summon all your monsters in defense so they can't crash into anything. So I think it's very important right now, especially with the popularity of Despia. And then for the only hand trap, it is 3 copies of Ash Blossom. I really don't have to say much about Ash. It's pretty much good against every single deck, good against every single power card in the game. So I think it's necessary at 3. And that is all 21 monsters. For the spell cards, you have starter cards, you know, Rhoda, Foolish Barrel, E-Call. E-Call it's good at 1. You sometimes want to search the Liquid Soldier, sometimes you want to search the Shadow Mist, so you have a discard outlet for Ferris. Sometimes you just need to search the Stratos to get to the Ferris, so I think 1 is okay. Rhoda, obviously, you search pretty much half of your deck. And then Foolish Burial is a great extender card and starter card because you can send Shadow Mist to get you a search of Vion to be able to do more plays. so it's very important. Also, as an extender to send either Mally or Denier, so it is staple. Then one of the pretty much best cards in the deck, 3 Hero Lives. Nothing really to say about that. Pay half your life points, summon any elemental hero, which is very important for the deck. And 2 copies of Fusion Destiny, just because it's at 2. This card is obviously insane. Gets you to one of the best monsters in the entire deck, and it lets you do all kinds of plays. You can go the route where you summon Dangerous, and then you are able to search Mass Change with that same combo, or you could just obviously make DPE and do the entire either Dark Angel combo or Plasma combo turn 1 just off of this card alone. So this is probably the best card in the deck, honestly. And then for fusion cards, the 1 Miracle Fusion, it's, searchable with Sunrise extender card. It's really good to be able to follow up. If you, majority of times with this deck, you have enough damage to kill them without being able to use this. So if you hold cards like these and then they play Nibiru or something like that, you're able to extend and then put a lot of damage even after they play that card on you. And then I play 2 copies of Poly. A lot of people play 1. I think 1 is not correct right now, since there's a lot of people playing Dimensional Barrier. If they hit you with that card when you play Poly and you don't have another one to search, then Wonder Driver is like your only way to pretty much fuse. And if you don't get to that, then you're pretty much not playing the hero deck. So I think 2 is very important. Even if you open with 1, it could just be a way to just start your turn just by playing Polymerization and do plays before even normal summoning. So I think it's important to have more than 1 of that card. Then 3 copies of Mass Change. You want to dodge hand traps, you want to dodge effects, you want to be able to save your monsters from destruction. You also just want to put Dark Law on the field, which is auto win against a lot of decks right now. So Mass Change is mandatory at 3 because hard drawn is never bad. And I'm also main decking 2 copies of Super Polymerization. It's really good against since I play the wind target against the Baron, hitting Appaloozas, hitting even the wind barrier statue. Like, it's just overall really powerful card. And obviously against Despia decks and stuff like that, you just hit their big monsters. And then lastly, to be able to break boards, because this deck does like to go second a lot of times. It has no problem going second. Sometimes you really want to go second depending on the matchup, but to be able to break boards, you obviously play 3 copies of Forbidden Droplet. So way better than cards like Chalice and Dark Rule and Amor, especially in this deck, since you're able to discard Shadow Mist to get effects, or discard cards like Denier, discarding Mally. All very good discard outlets. That's it for the main deck total. It's 19 spell cards and 21 monsters. No traps, don't play Imperm, anything like that. Then for the extra deck monsters, probably my favorite card. It's probably been my favorite card since it came out. Destroy Phoenix Enforcer. No other deck but heroes can make it right now, so you always play that one. And then for Mass Change, I was playing 1 Dark Law before, but I think now it's way stronger. So 2 is essential, especially when Tear Elements come out or something like that. You're gonna want to have this card, and especially since you play 3 Mass Change, very important. Then the hero targets, the best elemental hero fusion, Sunrise, boost your boards, searches you Miracle Fusion, pops cards, all around great card. The water target in Absolute Zero, he is probably the best hero to make off of Miracle Fusion, because he's the only one that requires any hero to make. All the other ones are specific to elemental heroes, so he's probably the freest one to make. And then for the rest of the Super Poly targets, we have 1 Dark for Escurado, 1 Wind in Great Tornado, and then 1 Light in The Shining. You can always make these with Miracle Fusion if you need to. This you can make with the Wonder Driver after you use the play to set Miracle Fusion, and then you link away the Wonder Driver, and then you have this that could get bigger and also get you cards out of the Banish Zone. This halves their board, and then this just boosts itself by heroes in the graveyard. They're all mainly for super poly targets, but they could come up off of Miracle Fusion as well. Then for the other two mass change targets, you have Blast, which is actually really underrated. The fact that he can just quick effect bounce a card every turn. It gets around, field spell effects, continuous spell effects if you have him on board, and then Mass Hero Acid, to destroy all spells and traps. You need this pretty much if you're playing against a deck, obviously like Eldritch, that you just want to get rid of all their back row and have a easy game. Also, I'm playing one Vision Hero Adoration. He doesn't really come up as much, but he's very important because he's the only one that you just make off any 2 hero cards. So if you need to get like Shadow Mist in the graveyard from your hand, or if you need to get be able to fuse and use the Liquid Soldier's effect from your hand, he's just the easiest hero to make. And he has a relevant effect too, that he can pretty much make your opponent's monsters weaker to be able to let you go for game. And then mandatory, you need Dangerous, Fusion Destiny. He lets you get Denier or Mali in the grave, whichever one you're missing. And it's also a D hero name, so it'll be a target for Dark Angel, since you need 3 in the graveyard for her effect. And the Link monsters, mandatory double Cross Crusader. He lets you bring back any D hero and then tribute 1 off to get any Search of a Hero. Sometimes when they kill the DPE and negate the effect in the graveyard, you could just make this to bring back DPE and then have that recurring effect always. So he is mandatory and staple at 2 in my eyes. And then the last one is Wonder Driver. He's probably my favorite Link, just because he lets you obviously reuse Poly, Miracle Fusion, Fusion Destiny, or Mass Change. There's plays where you'll make a fusion with him, set the Mass Change, and then you'll pop the DP the same turn, and then he'll come back on their turn back to the zone he points and get you another spell card. He get you Fusion Destiny for next turn, Miracle Fusion for this next turn, so he's very important, staple. That's the whole extra deck, 15 cards. And then for the sideboard, I'm playing triple Nibiru. Against combo decks, you want this guy, pretty much an auto win card against some decks if they don't have a way to play around it, so he's always going to be a staple on the sideboard. Obviously when Splite comes out, he might not see play, but for now we got to use him as much as we can. Then 2 Lightning Storms. This is good against Flunder, Eldritch. You sometimes want to break whole boards, and sometimes you want to destroy spells and traps. And then against combo decks that make unbreakable boards, Dark Wheel No More will probably be your best friend. You're also playing Droplet, so with having 3 Droplet, 3 Dark Wheel No More going second, you should obviously have a way to play around their established boards. And for more back row hate, Twin Twister, really important. I like this against Flunder, since their cards trigger in the main phase, and also since the field spell requires you to summon. If you can get rid of those cards before they even go into the main phase, they pretty much can't flip their trap cards. And obviously Eldritch, you want to be able to hit all the floodgates, so it's very important. And the last card is 3 Evenly Match, because again, against those back row decks, if they don't have Judgment or a way to stop this, you just pretty much win the game with 1 card. You just get rid of everything and then establish a board main phase 2, put Plasma, Dark Law on board, and they pretty much can't play after that. And that is the entire deck profile. Alright guys, so that was my hero deck profile. I hope you guys all enjoyed the deck. I will be making another version of this deck once Power of the Elements comes out, since there's obviously hero support in there with Spirit of Neos and the Neo Space. All those cards I want to definitely try out. And if you guys want to see more content, please hit the like button, subscribe, and then we'll see you later for some more awesome content. Peace out guys.